The wine hit my chest with a splash loud enough to silence the room. Merlot, 2009. A good bottle, wasted. The glass fell to the floor, shattered. My blouse clung to my skin, deep red spreading across the white silk like blood. She stood over me, smirking. My daughter, my only child. She poured it slowly, deliberately, like she had rehearsed. In front of the children, in front of the family, in front of the man I once called my husband and the woman he left me for. The room was dead silent. No one moved. And I didn't say a word. Not then. Not yet. I raised her alone. 3 jobs, 2 degrees, 1 barely functioning heart held together with caffeine and obligation. I gave up everything, youth, sleep, ambition, so she could have options. She took them. Took the house I worked 3 decades for. Took the college I couldn't afford. Took my last name and smeared it in rooms I'd never walk into. Still, I loved her. Even when she rolled her eyes at my advice. Even when she stopped visiting unless there was a check involved. Even when she said, "You were never a real mother, just a martyr looking for credit." I loved her. Right up until Christmas night. I knew something was off the moment she walked in. Too bright, too loud, too overdressed. She kissed me on the cheek, but her eyes were cold. There was tension in the air, but no one dared address it. Dinner was quiet. Dessert was worse. Then came the toast. She stood, glass raised, smiled at me like I was prey, and said, "To Mom, may she finally learn when to shut up and let someone else shine." A few nervous laughs. Then the wine. Down my chest, into my lap. My grandson started crying. I didn't move. Not then. Not yet. You see, betrayal like that doesn't happen in a moment. It simmers, builds. She'd been boiling for years, stewing in resentment, entitlement, jealousy. She hated that people respected me, that I owned my house, still worked, still held my spine straight and my chin up. She wanted me ashamed, smaller, silent. And when I didn't shrink, she poured the wine. That night, after everyone left, after she stormed out pretending she was the victim, I sat in the dark and stared at the empty glass on the floor. Then I stood up, walked to my office, opened the drawer with the will, and took her name off it. She thought she owned me. She thought biology was leverage, that blood was currency. But inheritance? That's earned. And she poured hers out, 1 glass at a time. I met with my attorney the next day. We revised everything. The house goes to my niece. The one who sat next to me handed me a towel and whispered, "I'm so sorry." The savings to a foundation for women rebuilding after family abuse. The jewelry to my granddaughter. And the letter to her. 3 weeks later, she called. I didn't answer. She texted, "Can we talk?" Then, "I didn't mean it." Then, "I was drunk." Then, "I was provoked." Then, "You're making a mistake." And finally, "You owe me." I sent her one reply, a photo of the page from the will with her name removed, and beneath it, 3 words, "I owe no one." She showed up, of course, screamed outside the gate, threatened lawsuits, posted vague Facebook rants, told anyone who'd listen that my own mother is abandoning me. But silence is a powerful thing. I didn't feed the fire. I let it burn itself out. They say blood is thicker than water, but so is wine, and once it stains, it never really fades. Every time I look at that ruined blouse, I remember not the sting of humiliation, but the moment I finally chose myself. She begged, eventually, wrote a long letter, said she was lost, confused, hurting, said she just wanted love. I folded it up, placed it in a box next to the wine glass still cracked from the floor that night. Evidence. Not of her mistake, but of my decision. Because motherhood isn't a life sentence, it's a gift, one I gave her every day. And the moment she turned that gift into a weapon, she lost it. Permanently. I don't regret a thing. I still celebrate Christmas, still light the fire, still smile at the grandkids. But now, the wine stays in the bottle, and the will stays as it is. Sealed, final. Because forgiveness is free, but legacy, that has a cost. And she already spent hers.